man Tom, and I have got a round 2 model review for you.
Well, alright. One thing I should have covered when I did the directions was the color calls and decal placements. All of that is located here on the exterior tray for the best color reference they could give everybody. Everything's really well laid out. Decal numbers are in white circles. Color numbers are in their colors. Nice little touch. So to help everybody out on their paint purchases and to get all those lined up now before the kit hits the shelves, you can either pause the video now or start taking notes while I read them off. So here are the colors that you're going to need. Tamiya JN Gray 81312 XF12. Testers Model Master Medium Gray 1721. Testers Model Master Hellblaw 2078. Testers Model Master Canadian Voodoo Gray 2039. A 50-50 mix of Testers Model Master Neutral Gray 1725 and Dark Ghost Gray 1728. Testers Model Master Sand ANA 616 2053. Spinning the box around to the other side, we continue with white Testers Flat White 1168 TT. Testers Copper 1151 TT. Testers Aluminum 1181 TT. Testers Acrylic Clear Red 4630. Testers Acrylic Clear Green 4668. 10 colors, that's all she wrote. You get to know where all the placements are according to the box, and I think everything is going to go really well. There's a note here on the box that says to read the instructions very carefully before you start painting, and apart from that, everything looks pretty cool to me. So next, there are a couple notes on the decals. I mentioned that there seemed to be some blotching going on in some cases and pinhole problems in the registry decals. Jamie assures me that this is something they're always on the lookout for, and given the history of decals with round 2, I'm not too surprised at that statement at all. So just because this particular set is not 100% perfect is not an indicator that any of the others coming up will not also be 100% perfect. Another note I made was that this yellow circle here didn't seem to be a circle, and it was pointed out to me by one of the comments on YouTube that that's likely because the bottom of the hull, once that's wrapped on there, that will help to make it look more circular. That's a good, interesting idea. It could also not be a genuine circle. I'm sure the purists out there and the truly in the know will be able to confirm or deny that one. And one other last color note is that the sprue are indeed done in 2 different colors, if not 3. Exterior hull gray, possibly exterior hull gray, and definitely a darker gray. Here's what Jamie has to say about that. Features like parts molded in color might seem trivial to most modelers that buy our kits. I have no doubt that 95% of the people that post on a forum that build our kits will paint them completely. So why go through the trouble? 2 big reasons. 1, appeal to the guys I just mentioned that probably won't paint their kits. Some won't have the skill, and some won't know where or have access to a place to buy the model paint. 2, it's the best way for us to show modelers the true color of the filming model. We can get close with a printed swatch on the box, but it is impossible to get it exact. By supplying the plastic in color, the modeler can use his own formula to perfectly match, or if he wants to, he can lighten the color for scale. Believe me, every feature of the kit has been thought through to benefit the widest number of people. Alright, so I got a few last notes. One email from Jamie says that in the first batch of directions for the Premier and Standard edition of the kits, the one thing that's not mentioned is that you should be running glue all along this girder line here so that when these attach, they're going to be rock solid. Another request was to compare the photo etch over to the plastic parts, and the details on the photo etch are guaranteed to be far more accurate and detailed looking simply because of the methodology. You just can't get this kind of detail with plastic. And of course, if you get the lighted kit, there's also the clear versions here. Apart from the nacelle, there's also these parts here. These are not lightable, but again, the detail is far more fantastic on the photo etch. And there's about as close as I can get the two of them without taking pieces apart. The one piece I can't find, no matter how much I've looked now, is part 109, the impulse grills. So you get two different kinds here, the one with the circle on one side and the straight up squares there. But no matter where I look, I just cannot find the plastic. This definitely hasn't fallen loose, I just haven't looked enough, probably. The one thing that occurred to me looking at the clear plastic that comes with the lighting kit is that if you're going to build the first or second pilot version of the ship, you don't need the spinning engines. However, you're probably going to want the clear bridge, the clear hangar deck, and maybe even the clear nacelles. And if you want to get these two sprue of clear plastic, you have to shell out the cash to get a full lighting kit. And of course, one of the options is, if you do buy the lighting kit and you're building a first or second pilot version of the ship, you may be able to sell those rotating engines to someone else. Something to keep in mind. Here's one other thing that Jamie needed me to confirm. This LED tape came from the deluxe accessory set. This LED tape came from the lighting kit. The one on the right from the lighting kit is correct. On the back of your LED tape there should be the 3M logo, which signifies that there's a sticky backing there. The stuff on the left does not have that sticky backing. Jamie is checking into that. If you happen to get a kit that does not have the sticky back though, you definitely want to give them a call. Another note about the lighting kit, I'll be firing this up. This is going to get its own video specifically. I got to set up my lighting workbench for that, so stay tuned for that one. The conflagration that has haunted Star Trek modelers since the beginning, nearly 40 years ago. The grid lines. One interesting thing I will note is if we take a moment and line these up, they are just about just as big as the 350 lines, except they're done the right way. I can't help but feel that everyone's aversion to these grid lines is why there's so much angst against these grid lines. And so to conclude, what else is there to say? This is a fantastically well engineered model kit from every single standpoint you can pretty much name. You can definitely throw me in the anti-grid line crowd simply because I'd like to build the first or second pilot myself rather than necessarily the production version. And pretty much it's not just a couple folks that are overtly griping about the grid lines that are going to have a problem, but it's definitely all those hardcore 2/3 of people that are going to want to fill up the grids. And the top will be easier than the bottom, and of course everybody has to worry about doing the rim around there. And the accessory sets, very well rounded, very well thought out, covers pretty much every contingency you can possibly name. One thing that I'd like to see is the two plastic sprue that come with the lighting kit for the bridge and the hangar bay. I think those should be a standalone product, simply because if you build the first or second pilot version and you don't need that nacelle sequencer, it means you have to buy it anyway if you want to light up the bridge or the hangar deck with your own LEDs. But other than that, I couldn't be more thrilled. This is definitely a dream kit come true. Growing up in the 70s, there were always those publicity shots of Kirk and Spock standing with the Enterprise. Now everybody that grew up with those images, they get to do that themselves these days. And to celebrate the release of the 1350 Enterprise, Modelers Brand Hobby Supplies is going to have a special event. Still working out the details, but the basic idea is the first couple people that get a shot of their completed 1350th Enterprise model kit and themselves in the Kirk or Spock pose that everybody knows from those old publicity photos, we're going to hand out some kind of prize. So stay tuned for that. I'll be announcing that at all the forums as the time gets close. Expected release for this is around Christmas, so I'll catch up with you then. And out of my list of about 19 things, I've still got about 2 to do. One of them, light up the lighting kit, so I've got to bring that over to my workbench and we'll plug that in and see how it goes. And the other thing, so to Jamie, Gary, Mike, Jim, Paulbo, cheers. To all the engineers and workers who are bringing this kit to us and actually producing it, thank you so much. And to all my subscribers and watchers, thanks for watching. See ya.